Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So, continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 8, prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit saved. Text 24 onwards. So, Queen Kunti is further saying, Vishan Mahagare Purusha Darshana Dasat Sabhaya Vanmas Krichrita Mridhe Mridhe Anek Maharathastro Dronasrataschasma Hare Abhirakshita. My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from a poisoned cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwatthama. So Krishna protected Pandavas from the very beginning of their lives from poisoned like the in the purport Prabhupada writes on the list. The list of dangerous encounters is submitted herein. Devaki was put into difficulty by her envious brother, otherwise she was well. But Kunti Devi and her sons were put into one difficulty after another for years and years together. They were put into trouble by Duryodhan and his party due to the kingdom, and each and every time the sons of Kunti were saved by the Lord. Once Bhima was administered poison in a cake. So in when they were little, so Duryodhan and party they gave Bhima poison, and but what happened? They had put him in the river. I believe it's in Yamuna or Ganges. I don't know. One of the two rivers. They just threw him in. So what happened? Because but that path actually went to Nagloka. So Bhima, although he was unconscious because of the poison, he went to Nagloka in the unconscious state. And when the snakes over there they bit him, so because poison counteracted poison, so he woke up. And he woke up and he killed so many snakes. Even when he was little, he was very strong. So then over there, somehow he pleased the king of Nagloka, and he gave him lots of benedictions and brought him back. But it was all protected. He was always protected by Krishna. And once they were put into the house made of shellac and set afire. So that happened in near Hastinapur. I believe the ruins of that fort, that palace is still there. Once Jitamitra Prabhu told me it's near Meerut somewhere. I think the Meerut devotees would know where exactly it is. And once Draupadi was dragged out, and attempts were made to insult her by stripping her naked in the vicious assembly of the Kurus. The Lord saved Draupadi by supplying an immeasurable length of cloth, and Duryodhan's party failed to see her naked. Similarly, when they were exiled in the forest, Bhima had to fight with the man-eater demon Hidimba Rakshas, but the Lord saved him. So Krishna always protected his devotees. So it was not finished there. After all these tribulations, there was a great battle of Kurukshetra, and Arjun had to meet such great generals as Drona, Bhishma, and Karna, all powerful fighters. And at last, even when everything was done away with, there was the Brahmastra released by the son of Dronacharya to kill the child within the womb of Uttara. And so the Lord saved the only surviving descendants of the Kurus, Maharaj Parikshit. So Kunti Devi is remembering how many times Krishna had protected her and her sons. And now comes the wonderful shloka that Queen Kunti is very famous for. She's saying, Vipda santu tashashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yatsyant apunar bhav darshanam. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. And for seeing you means that we no longer see repeated births and deaths. So, this is the real prayer of Queen Kunti. She's saying, I wish all those calamities. I mean, we can see. I mean, this is not even an exhaustive list. There's so many more happened with the Pandavas and Queen Kunti. She's saying, I wish those calamities happen again and again. Why? Because when the calamities happen, you are with us. Either we are thinking about you, or you are there personally there to protect us. And she's indirectly she's saying, now since everything is okay, you saved us from Brahmastra. Now you're leaving us and going back to Dwarka. So what's the point? So let the calamities happen again and again. So you are with us always. And why with us always? For seeing you means we will no longer see repeated birth and death. That's the advantage. And that's what, when we are constantly chanting Krishna's name, then Krishna is with us. And when he is with us means no more birth and death. That's it. It finishes right there. Krishna says, Prabhupada says, generally the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive who have performed some pious activities worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the real purpose of calamities, actually. So the devotees take shelter. Those who have faith, they take little shelter. Those who don't have faith, they run away. So calamities are also kind of screening process, a filtering process of devotees from faithless from faithful. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. So the calamities, devotees actually welcome those calamities, those problems. More problems, and in fact, we can see if we really have faith, then when the problem is stronger or severe, then our chanting really increases, quantity wise also and quality wise also. And when there are no problems and the life is going smooth, then we take it easy. We become complacent even with our chanting. ठीक है हो जाएगी रात को कर लेंगे. But when the issue is there, when some burning issue, when something is disturbing us, we really pick up those beats and chant Krishna's name, seeking shelter of Krishna's name. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as a most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with the place where there is danger at every step. So, devotees are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, not in the material world. It just something is holding them back, and Krishna has to somehow remove those obstacles. Prabhupada further writes, this material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. So this is Dukh Doshanudarshanam, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. This is a place of misery actually. There's nothing, no happiness here. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of any calamity. The duty of the sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. They're bound to happen. And in the lives of devotees, more and more calamities will be there. Look at the lives of all the pure devotees like Pandavas and Queen Kunti. How many things they had to go through. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes. One should make progress in spiritual realization because that is the mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. So everything, all the suffering here that we go through is actually nothing but dream. In reality, there is no calamity because the soul does not go through all this. This is just for the body. And many times we just make up some issues in our mind which really are not that serious or not at all there. But many times we make up some issues and we think, oh, there is a problem, this problem, that problem. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it's all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. Now somebody will say, if I'm sick, I'm not feeling well, and I'm really sick, I got cancer or something, suppose. Then somebody will say, isn't that real? Calamity is there. I'm suffering. Why are you saying there is no suffering? It's all dream. Well, the suffering actually is for the body, and body is supposed to give pain. But the soul is not supposed to suffer the bodily pains and pleasures. Soul is supposed to be different from the body. But obviously we are not at that level. That's why we suffer. And that's why all these three kleshas are there: Adidevic, Adibhotik, Adhyatmic klesha. They are there. And we keep on suffering throughout our life. But if we actually look at it, for the soul, there is no calamity. The only problem for the soul, only thing that the soul really suffers, the real suffering of the soul is when it is away from the association of Krishna and his devotees. That's a real suffering. Other than that, there is no suffering for the soul. Text 26. Janma Aishwarya Shruti Shri Bhir Edman Madaha Puman Na Evarati Abhidhatum Ve Tvam Akinchan Gocharam. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So, one who is trying to improve his life with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty cannot approach you with sincere feeling. And we all spend so much time, in fact, the whole day, running after either of the 4 things or all of the 4 things. Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. And if we are not running after all these things, either one or two or three or all 4, then we are said, then people tell us, hey, you are good for nothing. You're a bum. You should you should work hard to get these things, material opulence, or good education, or this or that. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna. So this is the problem. It's not that these material possessions are the problems. It's our attachment or our thinking that I am the enjoyer of those possessions. I am the enjoyer, I'm the controller of all these energies. That's where the problem is. But once somebody has these possessions, and that's a Queen Kunti, look at the word she uses, Edman Madha Puman. Madha means becomes completely crazy. A person who has all of the four or any of the four, he becomes completely crazy. So that's why she says, you are easily approachable by people who are materially impoverished. It's not like one who is living in a hut or a rickshawala is more close to Krishna than a rich man. It's not true. But it's somebody who's not attached to his wealth. That is the person who can approach Krishna, who understands whatever I have is by the mercy of Krishna. Then he can approach, and that's when he can feelingly address the Lord, O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sin that is unable to commit. By once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit, that he can't even commit. He gets rid of all those sins just by one chanting. But that chanting has to be really from the bottom of our hearts. Such is the power of the uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency. But there is a quality to such utterances. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name is with great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A helpless man. Just like generally the example of Draupadi is given in this connection. When Dushashan was trying to disrobe her, first she was looking at all the generals here, at her husbands, but nobody got up. She looked at Dronacharya, Bhishma, Kripacharya, Vidur, everybody, but nobody got up to protect her. She looked at her husbands, they didn't protect her. Although by the mouth she was calling out for Krishna. And Krishna, it is said that time he was playing uh, dice with Rukmani in Dwarka. So he was playing dice and he would throw the dice and he would walk towards the door of the palace and then come back. And Rukmani ji asked him, what is going on, my lord? You're leaving the game, going to the door and coming back again and again. The Lord said, well, one of my devotees is in trouble and she's calling me. Rukmani said, then why don't you go and protect her, save her? He said, well, she's still hoping that somebody will save her. Although she's calling my name, but inside her heart, she's hoping somebody will protect her. And then Draupadi, she then looked at everybody. Nobody came forward to protect her. Then she was holding on to sari with both of her hands. Again, Krishna was leaving the game of dice and coming to protect her. But again, he went back. Then she let go of sari with one hand, and one hand it was up in the air, one hand she was still holding the sari. Again, Krishna didn't come. As soon as she gave up both of her hands and feelingly she cried out Krishna's name, Oh Govinda, Oh Giridhar, Krishna appeared there immediately, right away, without delay. And it is said that he took the incarnation of Sari because he became Sari. He's unlimited, so Sari became unlimited. And Dushasan could not pull that sari. I mean, he kept on pulling, but there was no end to it. So that chanting has to come, that kind of chanting. And that can only happen. And Krishna will give us those moments for us to know how the chanting has to be proper. So that's why he puts us in those situations, in those difficult situations, when we have no other person, no other shelter, nothing else to uh, take shelter of except Krishna and his holy name. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education, and attractive beauty, are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. Of course, these are general guidelines. It doesn't mean if somebody has high parentage or is very wealthy or he has good education or is very beautiful, he cannot chant. It's just in general, it is said that they cannot chant properly. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature, as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever, not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God. So, grossly illusioned. But it's also seen like people who are not advanced, even devotees who are not advanced, and many times they also become impoverished for whatever reason, past karmas or whatever reason it may be. So outwardly they talk about, oh, it is good. Krishna has taken away all these bondages, all these things that are not helping me in chanting properly. But it's not the outward thing; it's the inside. What's inside? If inside the still the hankering is there, oh, I wish I had money, I could take care of my family nicely, or I wish I had money, enough money, because otherwise I don't have to be. I, I didn't have to go through all this humiliation. Priya's iPhone is making lots of noise. So that if inside there is still hankering, that is not good. So better go make money, but be peaceful and chant. It's for those. Queen Kunti's level is very very high, in fact, and that's why she can pray like this. We cannot. So we cannot imitate, but we can at least appreciate the mood of Queen Kunti, and we can pray that I should also get that kind of mood. That mood is important, not not the external poverty. Either we give up or don't make money or whatever. That's not what is more important. More important is that mood that I want to chant properly. I want to chant with feeling, with emergency, with I'm in a desperate situation. We should understand a desperate situation, and that's when our chanting will be pure. Chanting will be proper. Otherwise, we just finish our rounds. We don't chant. And when we finish our rounds, we actually what we chant is Are kitna kitna are. Meaning kitna ho gaya, kitna reh gaya. It's not Hare Krishna we chant. It's Are Kitna. Every time we look at the counter beat, when it goes down, it gives such a good satisfaction. I'm done. That's not chanting. That's just finishing rounds. So we have to see. And this is what I tell every time. Na? At the end, before we go to bed, end of the day, we should Just take a stock of what I did the whole day. Was my chanting good? Did I help somebody? Did I not help somebody? Did I do something that I wasn't supposed to do? All this stock we have to take at the end of the day and see what the balance sheet is. And then next day also Krishna will give us a chance. So let's start with the new balance sheet and see how do we do. Okay, so I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन जो है, इट मे नॉट लुक गुड टू यू, आई मीन इट मे नॉट साउंड गुड, बट आई डोंट नो, आई मीन आई वांट टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन। अभी आपने बताया कि व्हेन द्रौपदी वाज being insulted by Duryodhana, 5 Pandavas were just sitting and they were not helping her. So, being her husband, I mean, she had 5 husbands and nobody was helping her. It means, I mean, then uh, it is like a question mark on them. I mean, why this situation? First of all, this situation came because of them only. And then when she was crying and she was, she was asking help and they were not doing anything, it is like, I mean, we call Arjuna as a perfect human being, perfect example, and perfect disciple or whatever. I mean, but he is not even ready to help his wife. Then I mean, I'm sorry to say, but it is again a question mark on him.
Actually, there are many different shastras. So, according to Dharma Shastra, Yudhishthira Maharaj was following the rule of the dharma of a Kshatriya. And in that game of dice, because Kshatriyas cannot say no to dice and war. So in that game of dice, he had lost everything. In fact, himself also, he had lost. So he was in, by that wager, he had become a servant of Duryodhan. So as a servant, he had no independence. So he could not attack Duryodhan or his brother. But obviously, there's a higher shastra which is called no different shastra. No? As a human being or as a devotee, you could do that. But he was following that shastra, so according to him, he was right. And moreover, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he is not an ordinary person. He is a pure devotee of the Lord. Just to put him on the throne, I mean, all these stories will come later on in Bhagavatam only. Just to put him on the throne, Krishna arranged such a huge battle. So many, 640 million people got killed just to put Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne. So he cannot be an ordinary person. And later on you will see in the shlokas it has come that Yudhishthira Maharaj has a kind of personality, a sin, thought of even sin never entered his mind. Forget about committing a sin. Even a thought of sin never entered. So Yudhishthira Maharaj at that game of dice, at that time, he was completely under Yog Maya of Krishna, not under Mahamaya. So Krishna made him do all these things. Because many reasons, and obviously Krishna was also going to come and protect Draupadi. There was no way he could have let him get her insulted. But that game of dice was played, and that was the climax. And that's when the whole thing goes down from there on.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome, Manta. Any other question or comment? So I guess we can stop here. So you all have a wonderful day. Just think about these qualities of Maharani Kunti and how our chanting should be from now on. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.